Well, you won't believe what one particular crazy fan did to Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull way back when. He actually thought he died. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. The Zealot Gene is the brand new album from Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson. They haven't released a new album since 2003. That was their Christmas album, so it's been a long time coming for Jethro Tull fans. And a lot of things have changed in the band, of course, personnel and other things. So far, the reviews have been favorable, and the band locked into the top 10 of the British charts for the first time in a whole bunch of years. Keep in mind, if you want to see this entire interview, and not just snippets, the whole thing's on our sister channel, Rock History Book. There'll be links there, as well as links to the podcast of this conversation. Here's Ian Anderson. But have fans ever done anything weird? Have you ever had weird fan experiences because of, you've been here for so long and you've done a lot of work and you've reached a lot of people, but you must have had crazy, not just prog fans, because they're a little different, but crazy fans.
Oh, and I've had a few that were either threatening to, or in one case, attempted to kill me.
Why?
I have absolutely no idea. Maybe they just didn't like my beard. I have no idea why. But that has happened in the past, and I don't get that many threats these days. But it's not uncommon, and I've had some pretty insulting things, like being hit in the chest one night on stage and felt something hit me. Didn't seem to hurt, and I just looked down and saw blood inside my shirt, coming through and I thought I'd been shot. And my adrenaline is kicked in, and I don't feel the pain yet. And all the time I'm still singing, looking down. What is this? And I thought I'll just pull my shirt down to look at the entry wound to see how bad it is. And I realized there was something in there, and I pulled it out, and it was a sanitary device, a tampon, and somebody had thrown that at me. It hit me in the chest and slid down the front of my shirt. So I just pulled it out and held it up and said, "Somebody lose something here?" And I've had a pot of piss tipped over my head at Shea Stadium as I was walking onto the stage back in 1975 or 6. That was particularly unpleasant. And, walking out onto the stage, soaking wet and stinking, and having to then play,
Yeah.
not very nice. But that doesn't happen that often. And I've never had any, so far, no poos, no feces have come in my general direction. So I have a lot to be thankful for in life.
Marcus Westermark asks, all these are all your fans. Do you still do salmon farming?
No. For 20 years, I was very actively engaged in aquaculture and fish processing. And I decided, apart from the financial risk, which was really considerable, I felt uncomfortable increasingly about environmental aspects of salmonid farming mainly because of the issues of sourcing feed. It meant as salmon farming became more and more popular and industrial in its nature, more and more millions of tons of fish species were being hoovered up from the ocean in order to turn into high protein fish dry feed for salmon. And to turn a lowly form of fish protein into a higher value of fish protein, increasingly became uncomfortable for me. And although there were beginnings of movements towards trying to get salmon to go vegan, to eat essentially a vegetarian protein diet, they were not successful. As it happens right now, about 50%, or maybe even a little more than 50%, is actually vegetable matter that finally now it is palatable enough to be able to feed to salmon. Trout, on the other hand, they would always take a healthy admixture of vegetable matter in their feed. And some fish like carp, for example, are naturally vegan. They just are. They eat nothing but vegetables. Toss in a dead sheep, they're not going to go near it. So that was one of the problems. I think the other environmental issues to do with chemicals was something that's, to a large extent, you could avoid and can avoid to this day. So I wouldn't worry about that one. And in terms of the visual aspect of salmon farms, sort of producing a visual pollution in the landscape in remote, idyllic highland lochs, there's something, again, you can't ever make that look pretty. They are very visible, and that's the end of it. But I was always in favor of shellfish farming, and I still am today. If I had remained in aquaculture, it would have been farming mussels and scallops and oysters. In other words, the bivalves, because you just put the little guys into the water, and they get bigger because they naturally ingest plankton, which is there as a freebie. So that they don't pollute, they don't do anything. And generally speaking, because they're growing below the surface, there's very little to see on the surface of the water. So the very good reason for sticking with bivalve aquaculture. It's just that having got out of it, I got out of it, and that's the end of it. Not going back. I have my rest of my remaining days as a as a farmer of grass and trees. That's all I do.
If you want to see the entire interview with Ian, it'll be on our sister channel, Rock History Book, and there'll be a link also to the podcast in the description of this video. Make sure you comment on our videos and subscribe to our channel and share our videos. We love it when you do that. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.